and welcome to another episode of Palmetto Life. I'm your host, Emily Zuhowski. Welcome to a new week. As we all know, tomorrow is Halloween, of course. The littles of the Lowcountry are ready to trick-or-treat tomorrow, but are local parents ready to help curb their monster manners? It is spooky season, and the last thing we want this Halloween is to have monster manners. National etiquette expert and founder of the Charleston School of Protocol, Cindy Grosso, is here today to talk about that. Welcome, Cindy.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So you're the etiquette expert on many different topics.
Yeah.
What are some of the most common manner mistakes you see surrounding Halloween?
Right. It's like you said in the opening, it's fun to be monsters, but not have monster manners. And so we see children sometimes walking through people's yards, through their gardens, through their flower beds and things. And really, it's funny because the word etiquette actually came from Louis XIV, and he would hold these beautiful festivals, these beautiful events, and people would walk through his gardens at Versailles, right? All these beautiful gardens of Versailles, and they would walk through these gardens. They'd trample through and they'd walk on the grass. So he wound up putting these little signs, and they became known as etiquettes. And it was kind of the instructions, like don't walk on the grass, don't, you know, and that's really what it means. It means keep off the grass, quite technically. But those kind of things are just the same thing today. Don't walk through people's yards, don't walk through gardens. And be nice when people give you candy, not to say, oh, I don't like that, or that's not my favorite. Just be gracious, teach your child to be gracious, and just say thank you.
Yeah, and when you're taking your kids to go trick-or-treating, how much candy should you tell them to take? Should they take a big handful, just one or two?
It's one piece, and that's hard.
Yeah,
sometimes.
that is hard.
And I tell, when I teach, I say, sometimes we get more by taking less. So if we take a big handful, if you were behind the person who took a big handful of candy and then maybe there wasn't enough, that probably wouldn't be very nice, right? But if we take less, that means what? I left some for you. So I always tell, I give out candy. I actually hand it to them, or I say pick two pieces. I give the instructions, take two. And so it helps the kids to do that, but to be gracious and take one piece. And sometimes that's hard when you see a big bowl of candy.
You're so excited.
Yes, so excited.
So you say that you actually give out the candy.
I
do you think there's a difference between leaving a basket out or just actually giving out the candy? Is there a difference? Is there one that's better?
Well, I personally love seeing the kids. It's just adorable. They're adorable. They're so cute. They're so sweet. And trick or treat really is the word for please on Halloween. It normally would be please, but trick or treat means please on Halloween. So I just get a kick out of the kids. And I appreciate when some people can't be there, they still want to participate in it, so they leave a bowl of candy out. But that's really important to teach your child, okay, one piece.
Yep, nobody's watching you.
That's right, nobody's watching you.
And no one likes being woken up by a doorbell on Halloween night when they have work the next day. How late is too late to ring that doorbell?
Right. Really, Halloween trick-or-treating is really 6 to 8. It's okay if you go a little earlier, but be careful about going later, and I would not recommend that because people do have to get up for work. And once the lights go off, once I'm out of candy, my lights go off. And so I'd really try to have a lot of candy, but that's when there's a house that's dark, you don't approach it, you don't ring the doorbell 10 times. So you just, when a house goes dark, you don't approach it.
I'm curious to costumes. Is there any do's or don'ts for costumes?
Now, I think costumes can be pretty much what people want. I think they can be a little bit, I wouldn't do a scary costume for a child. I think they're more age appropriate. And even when you're a little bit older, sometimes the scary costumes, when you open the door, it's like, oh my gosh, but they're, most of the time it's just for fun. And no, I don't think there's any real etiquette, but I love to see the little ballerinas and the princesses, and you can always tell what movie's out or what's on TV.
Barbie, I think this year is going to be big. Yep.
You can always tell by how they show up at your door, and they're just precious. I love Halloween.
Lastly, and for families that don't partake in Halloween, should they leave the light off? How do you tell people not to come to your house?
Right, and etiquette never says to partake or not partake in anything. What etiquette says is we want to show respect to both. So if you're participating in Halloween, we want to show respect to those people, and if you're not going to participate, we want to show respect to those people. And so how you do that is you would pretty much turn off your lights, and no porch lights. If the porch lights aren't on, you know, because you still may be in the house, but if the porch lights aren't on, that's your biggest indicator. Or if you have yard lights, like we have a pole light in the yard. If all of those lights are on, good. If all those lights are off, even though the inside lights might be on, that would be a house that you would not want to approach.
Awesome. Well, this is always such a fun time of year, so
Yeah, it is
I'm
a
excited
fun
to see all the little costumes.
Yeah, me
That's my
too.
favorite part.
Me too.
All right, Cindy Grosso, Charleston School of Protocol. Thanks so much for all of your expertise once again.
Thank you.
All right, Joey, you're ready for Halloween.
I am. My kids are ready. I was going through, making sure we have the
Yeah.
checklist of all the do's and don'ts. I like that. Trick or treat means please. You can say
I
trick
do
or treat,
like that.
please also. Yeah.
I didn't know it meant
Making
please
sure.
because,
Tomorrow it does.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm going to do that all the time.
And make sure you say thank you afterwards. I think it's important for the kids as
Oh,
well.
definitely, definitely. So what did you learn from that?
Turn my lights out at 8 o'clock. What else? I don't know. One piece of candy. I think that's important. One piece, unless the person says that you can have two or three, or you can take a full-size candy bar. Those are the good neighbors. The one with the full-size
Do you have
candy
the
bars.
full-size ones?
We have way too many kids in our neighborhood. I mean, on the order, I probably get like 200 kids on Halloween. So because of that, we have smaller.
Oh, he's
candy
stingy.
size.
He's
I'm
stingy.
stingy. I'm trying not to go broke.
No
you
one
know?
go to Joey
Yeah.
Sovine's house tomorrow.
We've got candy. We just don't have the full-size candy bars. Yeah, but I'm sending my kids out to. I like to send them out, and then we come back and we look at all, and
Yeah.
that gets 10%. So
Okay, what's your favorite one?
give me that. I don't know. My daughter doesn't like chocolate, so usually I get some of
Well,
that.
look at you.
Yeah, so like Twix and Snickers.
Oh yeah,
and Milky
Reese's,
Ways and Reese's.
yeah, Hershey bars.
All the good stuff,
It's so
so-
fun. You're lucky. You better bring some in tomorrow for us.
I will. I'll make sure that I bring you
Our
a
resident
couple.
dad.
There you go.